All right, so you're gearing up for a bacteriology technician interview. Must be exciting. We've got a ton of resources from RoleCatcher career guides, sample interview questions, even some AI tools.
Yeah.
We're going to deep dive into all of it today and hopefully help you just crush this interview.
Think of it as your super personalized interview preps session.
Exactly. We're going to break down some of those tricky questions, give you strategies for how to answer them really strongly, and even look at how RoleCatcher's AI can give you an edge. But before we get into all of that, let's just paint a picture of what a bacteriology technician actually does.
You're going to be working in a lab environment, obviously. You're going to be utilizing a variety of techniques to culture, identify, and analyze bacteria.
So more than just looking through microscope.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You're going to be responsible for collecting and processing samples, conducting experiments, analyzing data, and maintaining really meticulous records. Accuracy and attention to detail are super important here.
And RoleCatcher's career guide really emphasizes that this role, it's like a blend of scientific knowledge and practical lab skills.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to need a solid understanding of bacteriology principles and then the ability to actually apply those principles to real-world lab scenarios.
Okay, so let's get into the heart of it, those interview questions. RoleCatcher provided us with 10 common ones, and we're going to go through each one. Ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, first one's a classic. Describe your experience with laboratory techniques commonly used in bacteriology. What's the interviewer really looking for here?
So they really want to gauge your hands-on experience and your familiarity with all the core techniques. This is your chance to really showcase your practical skills.
Okay, so how do we make an answer stand out here?
Instead of just listing techniques, bring them to life with specific examples. So for example, let's say you've worked with gram staining. Don't just say, I've performed gram staining. Talk about a specific project where you used that technique, maybe even a challenge you encountered and how you overcame it.
So really show them that you can walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Exactly, yeah. And then the interviewer might follow up with questions about specific steps in the procedure or ask you to compare different techniques. So be prepared to go a little bit deeper.
And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can actually come in handy. It can help you tailor your answers to highlight the most relevant experience for that specific job that you're applying for.
Yeah, it analyzes the job description and suggests ways to optimize your responses, which I think is really helpful.
It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to question number 2. How do you ensure accuracy and precision in your work as a bacteriology technician? This one feels like it's all about attention to detail.
It is. The interviewer wants to see that you understand how important it is to be super meticulous in a lab setting. Even small errors can have big consequences.
So how do we showcase our commitment to accuracy without just saying, I'm a perfectionist?
Give them concrete examples of your practices. So talk about your experience with quality control measures like using positive and negative controls. Describe how you double-check your measurements and calculations.
Maybe even mention a time where you caught an error and took steps to correct it.
Excellent point, yeah. Proactively identifying and addressing errors shows that you're really committed to quality. And then the interviewer might ask you about specific situations where precision is really important. So be ready to share some relevant anecdotes.
Question number 3. How do you stay up to date with new developments and technologies in bacteriology? This field is constantly evolving, so how do we demonstrate our commitment to continuous learning?
Highlight your approach to staying current. Talk about professional journals you read, conferences you attend, or online courses you've taken.
And RoleCatcher's Career Guide actually lists several reputable journals and organizations in the field.
Yeah, that's a great resource. You can mention specific publications or events that you follow.
And don't be afraid to show enthusiasm for specific advancements that excite you.
Yeah, absolutely. Passion for the field always shines through. The interviewer might ask you about a recent breakthrough that caught your attention or how you apply new knowledge to your work.
Okay, question number 4. Describe a time when you encountered an unexpected challenge in your work as a bacteriology technician and how you overcame it. It feels like they're trying to gauge our problem-solving skills here.
Precisely. They want to understand how you approach challenges and find solutions. So choose a specific challenge that highlights your analytical thinking and your ability to troubleshoot effectively.
So walk us through an example.
Let's say you were conducting an experiment and the results were inconsistent. Don't just say, the experiment failed. Describe the steps you took to identify the problem. Did you review the protocol? Did you check the equipment? Did you consult with colleagues?
And then explain how you ultimately resolved the issue and what you learned from the experience.
Exactly. Yeah. Focus on your problem-solving process and the steps you took to reach a resolution.
And again, RoleCatcher's AI can be really helpful here. It can actually help you structure your answers to these behavioral questions. It provides feedback on the clarity and the effectiveness of your storytelling.
It can even suggest ways to quantify your impact, like mentioning specific improvements or outcomes that resulted from your actions.
All right, moving on to question number 5. How do you prioritize your workload when handling multiple projects or tasks simultaneously? Labs can be pretty hectic, so time management is key, right?
Absolutely. The interviewer wants to know that you can handle competing priorities and stay organized even when you're under pressure.
So how do we demonstrate our time management skills?
Share specific strategies that you use. Maybe you use a to-do list, a project management app, or a prioritization matrix. Explain how you break down large tasks into smaller, more manageable steps and how you allocate your time effectively.
Maybe even mention a time when you successfully juggled multiple projects under tight deadlines.
That's a great example. The interviewer might ask you about specific scenarios that test your ability to prioritize effectively. So be prepared to think on your feet and demonstrate your organizational skills.
Okay, before we tackle the next question,
Mhm.
I want to touch on something that RoleCatcher emphasizes, their AI-powered feedback system.
Oh, yeah, it's a game changer for interview prep.
You can practice your answers, and the AI will analyze your responses, suggesting improvements to your content, your clarity, even your tone.
Yeah, it's like having a personal coach fine-tuning every word you say.
Now back to those questions.
Yeah.
Question number 6 is, describe your experience with maintaining laboratory equipment and supplies. Seems like they're trying to assess our comfort level with the practical side of lab work.
Right. They want to make sure that you understand how important proper equipment maintenance is and that you're willing to, roll up your sleeves and handle those tasks.
So what kind of experiences should we highlight?
Talk about specific equipment that you've maintained, maybe microscopes, autoclaves, or incubators. Describe your process for cleaning, calibrating, and troubleshooting.
And don't forget about inventory management.
Excellent point. Mention your experience with ordering supplies, managing stock levels, and ensuring the lab is well stocked.
The interviewer might ask you about specific protocols for maintaining certain equipment or how you handle unexpected equipment failures.
Be prepared to showcase your resourcefulness and problem-solving skills in those situations. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor your responses to align with the specific equipment used in the lab you're applying to.
Okay, on to question number 7. How do you ensure that your work complies with safety regulations and guidelines? Safety's paramount in any lab, right?
Absolutely. This question is designed to assess your understanding of safety protocols and your commitment to maintaining a safe working environment.
So how do we demonstrate our safety consciousness?
Start by highlighting your knowledge of relevant safety regulations, whether it's OSHA guidelines, biosafety levels, or specific protocols for handling hazardous materials. Then share concrete examples of how you implement these regulations in your daily work.
Maybe discuss a time when you identified a potential safety hazard and took steps to mitigate it.
Perfect example. Proactive safety measures always impress. The interviewer might ask you about specific safety scenarios or how you handle emergencies in the lab, so be prepared to demonstrate your knowledge and composure.
Question number 8 focuses on teamwork. How do you collaborate with other team members in a laboratory setting? Labs are often collaborative environments, so how do we showcase our ability to work effectively as part of a team?
Share specific examples of successful collaborations. Maybe you worked on a research project with a team, or you regularly assist colleagues with their experiments. Describe your communication style, your ability to listen to others' perspectives, and your willingness to share knowledge and resources.
And don't be afraid to highlight your strengths as a team player, whether it's your ability to delegate tasks effectively, your willingness to take on challenging roles, or your knack for fostering a positive and productive team environment.
The interviewer might ask you about a time when you faced a conflict within a team and how you resolved it. Be prepared to demonstrate your conflict resolution skills and your ability to maintain a positive and collaborative spirit, even in challenging situations.
Okay, we're getting close to the finish line. Question number 9 is, describe your experience with data analysis and interpretation in bacteriology. This feels like a question that could really set someone apart.
Yeah, it can. It allows you to showcase your analytical skills and your ability to draw meaningful conclusions from data. Talk about your experience with different data analysis techniques, whether it's statistical analysis, data visualization, or trend identification.
Mention specific software or tools you've used and provide examples of how you've applied these skills to solve problems or draw insights from data.
For instance, you could discuss a project where you analyzed bacterial growth patterns to optimize culture conditions, or a research study where you interpreted data to identify potential drug targets.
And don't forget about those visualizations.
Right. If you've created graphs, charts, or presentations to communicate your findings, be sure to mention those. Visual communication skills are highly valuable in a lab setting.
The interviewer might ask you about specific data analysis challenges you faced or how you ensure the accuracy and reliability of your data interpretations.
Be prepared to demonstrate your critical thinking skills and your ability to back up your conclusions with solid evidence. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can help you identify and highlight the most relevant data analysis skills based on the specific job requirements.
Right. Last but not least, question number 10. Describe a time when you had to troubleshoot a complex problem in a laboratory setting and how you resolved it. This one feels like a culmination of several previous questions.
It is. It tests your problem-solving skills, your technical knowledge, and your ability to think critically under pressure. Choose a challenging problem that showcases your ability to systematically analyze a situation, identify potential causes, and implement solutions.
So how would we choose a compelling example?
Think about a time when you faced a problem that required you to go beyond routine troubleshooting. Maybe it involved a faulty piece of equipment, a contamination issue, or an unexpected experimental result.
Walk the interviewer through your thought process, explaining how you narrowed down the potential causes, the resources you consulted, and the steps you took to resolve the issue.
And highlight the outcome. Did you successfully fix the equipment? Did you identify the source of the contamination? Did you adjust the experimental parameters to achieve the desired results?
Don't be afraid to mention what you learned from the experience and how it improved your problem-solving skills.
The interviewer might ask follow-up questions to delve deeper into your technical understanding or your ability to think on your feet. RoleCatcher's AI can actually simulate these follow-up questions, helping you prepare for those curveballs.
Okay, we've tackled all 10 questions, but this is just the beginning. We've got more ground to cover, including career progression insights from RoleCatcher, so stay tuned.
Welcome back. So we just navigated some of those really tough interview questions. Now let's shift gears a little bit and focus on some of the key skills and knowledge that'll make you a really outstanding bacteriology technician.
And RoleCatcher's career guide does a really good job of breaking down those essentials. They actually start with something that you might not expect, reading comprehension.
Yeah, it might seem kind of surprising, but in this field, you're constantly reading scientific papers, research articles, technical documents. Being able to really quickly grasp that complex information is super important.
So it's not just skimming through text. It's about actually extracting key findings, understanding methodologies, critically evaluating the information. So how do we actually showcase this skill in an interview?
You want to demonstrate that you're actively engaging with scientific literature. So you could mention a recent research paper that you found really insightful, or discuss a challenging project where you had to synthesize information from multiple sources.
Yeah, and what about specific strategies? Do you recommend taking notes or highlighting key points or even discussing the material with colleagues?
All excellent strategies, yeah. They all demonstrate a proactive approach to learning and your ability to process complex information effectively. You could even mention how you use online resources or databases to stay updated on the latest research.
And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can actually analyze your answers and suggest ways to strengthen your responses by incorporating relevant keywords and phrases related to reading comprehension.
Yeah, it's like having a personalized editor tailoring your answers to really match the specific requirements of the job.
Okay, let's move on to a skill that's definitely expected. Scientific knowledge. It's not just about memorizing facts though, right? It's about applying those principles to real-world scenarios.
Absolutely. You need that solid understanding of bacteriology principles, microbial growth, and laboratory techniques. But you're also going to be expected to apply that knowledge to solve problems, analyze data, and design experiments.
So how do we convince the interviewer that we're not just textbook smart, but also lab savvy?
Give them concrete examples. So let's say they ask you about a time when an experiment didn't go as planned. Don't just say, it failed.
Yeah.
Walk them through your thought process. Did you hypothesize a cause? Did you adjust the parameters? Did you consult scientific literature?
Really showcasing that scientific thinking process is key.
Exactly, yeah. Highlight how you use your knowledge to analyze situations, make informed decisions, and find solutions.
Another skill that RoleCatcher highlights is writing, and that might seem surprising to some. But it makes sense when you think about all the reports and documentation involved in lab work.
Yeah, it's not just about proper grammar and spelling. It's about conveying complex scientific information in a clear, concise, and accurate manner.
So how do we demonstrate our writing skills during an interview?
Think about the types of documents that you've written: lab reports, research summaries, even emails or presentations. Share specific examples that highlight your ability to organize information, present data effectively, and write in a professional and scientific style.
And don't be afraid to mention any writing courses you've taken or feedback you've received that has helped you improve your skills.
Yeah, it shows a commitment to continuous improvement. And remember, strong communication skills are crucial for collaborating with colleagues, sharing research findings, and even seeking funding.
And RoleCatcher's AI can also provide valuable feedback on your writing style, suggesting ways to enhance clarity, conciseness, and impact.
It's like having a writing coach helping you refine your communication skills.
Okay, so let's actually delve into the knowledge areas that are crucial for a bacteriology technician. And we have to start with the foundation: biology.
You'll need a strong understanding of microbiology, focusing on bacteria, their structure, function, growth, interactions.
But it's not just about bacteria in isolation.
Right. You need to understand how they interact with other organisms, the environment, and even human health. That broader perspective is really essential for understanding the impact and applications of your work.
So what kind of questions might we expect in this area?
They might ask you about different types of bacteria, their mechanisms of pathogenesis, or their role in various ecosystems. Be prepared to discuss your understanding of bacterial genetics, metabolism, and evolution.
Okay, another key knowledge area is chemistry. How does chemistry intertwine with the world of bacteriology?
Well, chemistry is essential for understanding bacterial processes at a molecular level. So you'll need knowledge of chemical reactions, properties of substances, and analytical techniques.
And this also ties into safety protocols, right? Handling chemicals safely is super important in a lab setting.
Absolutely. Be prepared to discuss your knowledge of chemical safety guidelines and your experience with handling and disposing of hazardous materials.
Now, this next knowledge area, this one surprised me: education and training. Why is this relevant for a bacteriology technician?
As you gain experience, you might find yourself training new lab technicians, presenting research findings, or even developing training materials.
So it's really about sharing your knowledge effectively.
Exactly. Strong communication skills and the ability to explain complex concepts clearly are really essential. And the interviewer might ask you about your experience with training or mentoring others, so be ready to share examples that showcase your ability to teach and guide.
And RoleCatcher also provides some valuable insights into the career progression of a bacteriology technician. They actually outline different career stages, each with its own set of responsibilities and expectations.
Yeah, understanding these stages can really help you set realistic career goals and tailor your answers to align with that specific level that you're targeting.
So, for example, an entry-level technician might focus on assisting senior technicians performing those routine lab tasks and collecting data.
Then as you progress to an intermediate level, you might take on more independent research projects, develop protocols, and even supervise junior staff.
And at a senior level, you could be leading research teams, securing funding, publishing findings, and contributing to advancements in the field.
It's a really dynamic career path with opportunities for growth and specialization.
And RoleCatcher even provides specific examples of tasks and profiles for each stage, which is incredibly helpful for visualizing your career trajectory. And their AI can actually analyze your experience and suggest ways to highlight skills that align with your desired career stage. But we've got more to explore, so stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive. We're back for the final part of our Bacteriology Technician Interview Prep Deep Dive. We've covered a lot already, from breaking down those tough interview questions to exploring those essential skills and knowledge. But before we wrap up, we've got a few more insights from RoleCatcher to help you really stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, those finishing touches can make a big difference for sure.
RoleCatcher mentioned something called alternative job titles. What is that all about?
So it's kind of like a secret decoder ring for job hunting. You might see job postings that don't explicitly say bacteriology technician, but they actually require similar skills and experience.
So we need to broaden our search beyond that exact job title. What are some examples?
You might see titles like biotechnical technician, scientific laboratory technician, or even microbiology analyst. The key is to really focus on the skills and responsibilities that are listed in the job description, rather than getting too hung up on a specific title.
And RoleCatcher's Career Guide actually has a section on transferable skills showing how your experience as a bacteriology technician can translate to those other roles. It's like opening up a whole new world of possibilities.
Exactly. Your skills in lab techniques, data analysis, and scientific problem solving are super valuable across a bunch of different scientific fields.
Now let's talk about those external resources that RoleCatcher provides, like a treasure trove of information.
Yeah, these resources can definitely take your preparation to the next level. So you've got the Occupational Outlook Handbook, which provides a lot of insights into industry trends and job outlook.
And they list professional organizations like the American Society for Microbiology, which offer networking opportunities, continuing education courses, and access to industry publications.
Don't underestimate the power of connecting with other professionals in the field. Networking can really open doors to job opportunities, mentorship, and valuable insights.
And RoleCatcher even provides links to research databases and scientific journals.
Yeah, staying updated on the latest research and advancements is super important for demonstrating your passion and commitment during the interview.
So what does all this mean for you as a bacteriology technician candidate? Well, you're armed with a really comprehensive toolkit, from interview strategies to career insights, and even those AI-powered tools to really refine your presentation.
You've got the knowledge, the skills, and the resources to make a really lasting impression.
But remember, this interview is just the beginning of your journey. RoleCatcher emphasizes the importance of continuous learning and professional development.
Yeah, bacteriology is a very dynamic and evolving field. So stay curious, explore emerging areas, and never stop learning.
And maybe there's a specific type of bacteria that fascinates you or a particular research area you'd like to delve deeper into. Keep that passion alive.
This deep dive has given you the foundation. Now it's up to you to build on it.
So go out there, ace that interview, and embark on a fulfilling career in the fascinating world of bacteriology.